Okay, and we here on another episode of High Standards. It's your boy I4 Chapman.
JK the interviewer.
Man, we got a special topic and guest here with us. We have
Captain Jones
and Ladro Cartel, live from the West Side.
Yes, sir. So this is gonna be more of a not like just a serious, you know what I'm saying, kind of episode, but more of like meaningful kind of episode. We're going to talk about kids whose parents are incarcerated and different things that they have to go through and different things that they have to deal with, or things that the day-to-day stuff that they have to deal with that other people probably wouldn't even realize that, you know, these kids at such a young age have to even deal with. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about people probably like in like college, or, you know what I'm saying, somebody in their 30s or anything like that. We're talking about actual like kids. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna let Catherine Jones introduce herself.
I'm Catherine Jones, and I am one of America's formerly incarcerated youth. I was incarcerated at the age of 13, and I was released at the age of 30. August 1st, I just celebrated my 7-year freedom anniversary. Okay. And I spent the time since I've been home advocating to end death by incarceration sentences for children. America is the only country in the world that will sentence a child to die in prison for offenses that happened when they were under the age of 17. Not a statistic that we should be proud about as a country, and very much rooted in systemic racism. And 80% of all of those children that receive life sentences as minors are black and brown kids. And so the juvenile incarceration, the mass incarceration, all of that stems from slavery. And as I've advocated in the organization that I work with, it's been more successful. We now have over half of the states that have banned JLWOP. I've been thinking a lot about what's my next, and prevention. I work every day to help with reentry after they've been disappeared from society for decades. And then it was like, well, how do we stop them from even going to prison? And when I learned that we had 5 million children who had parents that were incarcerated, and they're 8 times more likely to become involved in the justice system themselves, as well as suffer from mental health issues, depression, anxiety, ADHD, I knew that was my next. And I'm excited to partner with New West Orlando Foundation to be able to touch those youth and mentor them and prevent them from being the statistics that they say they will be.
Facts.
Wow, that's crazy. You said 5 million.
5 million.
Wow. And
there's probably many more than that.
And probably more. Many more. Wow, that sounds so crazy. And so, do you know the percentage of so let's say, okay, and we're talking about kids who never been in trouble, nothing like that, just and their family or their parents are incarcerated,
Their
right?
parents are incarcerated. If you're in a classroom and there's 25 kids, one of those 25 has a parent, a mother or a father, more than likely a father. There's 626,000 fathers that are in prison and 60,000 mothers that are in prison. And you have to think about the collateral damage of that. Now one of the breadwinners are gone, if it's the father. And so now you have a mother working 2 or 3 jobs, and who's raising the kids?
Reaganomics. That's Reaganomics right there.
Yeah, what you saying?
No, I was just piggybacking. Reaganomics. She snapped. Yeah, facts. Yeah. It worked. That was the plan Reagan said in the 80s with the crack laws and all of that. Take the father from the household, and then, you know, that was our granddaddies, and then it happened to our daddies, and then, you know, that's that generational curse they talk about. Like, that was a system. It's systematic. It was put in place for that to happen to us because we was prospering.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but in that situation, how it's the father that they take out, like, do you feel like it's certain situations that, like, okay, the father doesn't have to be involved in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like, it's the accountability aspect of it. Like,
absolutely.
You understand, like, as a father, you have children. You gotta be the breadwinner. You gotta do what you gotta do to get the.
You gotta be the provider.
Nobody's telling you, man, I gotta go hit these streets. I gotta go do this. I gotta do that. I'm like, you can't blame the justice system for being the justice system. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, it is skewed very very wrong. Like it kind of you already know what laws are more harsher to certain people, but you also got to say like, who put you in that predicament? Like, did the Officer Stanley catch you on the corner with them drugs you already had? No, it was you. You were like, I need to get it the quickest way possible, which is not always the best way. Because the same way, like I think it was I seen some type of interview this weekend. They said the 1 year you spend balling on a year, balling in the free world is 5 years you owe the penitentiary, because you're gonna get caught. So that, and they let you run it up. You probably the biggest dope boy in the streets or whatnot. Like, damn, that nigga, he got motion. And then you see he take a plea for 10 years. Like, damn, nigga, like, but you was good. Like, you come back, all that shit gone.
Yeah. And that's also too, like, agreeing with you saying is like, it's like how I am. I see it like in like both different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, as until I know I was blessed to have both parents and parents who always supported me and 1,000%. But I always looked at it as into like I always do know a lot of my friends, the people who I grew up with, they from where they from, and a lot of them that I know that actually might be from a Carbon Shores or from like a Mercy Driver or somewhere like that. That's like from there. There's a lot of them where like they won't even be nowhere a part of like they gone. They not even rocking with that kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because they actually been there, they know what it was like, they seen it, they've been traumatized, different kind of vibe. I remember when I was in I was in like 8th grade. I came to school and I'm like, okay, boom, I'm like, I'm like, hey, I got this for Christmas, I got that for Christmas, blah 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 blah. But then one of my friends, not even on no hater vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like this, I can actually say he's really my friend. He like, man, Christmas ain't nothing but another day. And he was serious, like, and he just kept on going. I'm like, damn, I kind of felt bad. And I'm like, oh, I was even thinking that, shit, you probably ain't even get nothing for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Kind of vibe. But as into what they're doing now, you wouldn't even know that they even from that lifestyle or anything like that, because they, they doing their kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So then, when I see other people who are like, okay, yeah, so, everybody's families are different, but then I see other people who might be from the hood or from somewhere around that area, and they trying to, like, press the gas with it, and I'm like, damn, like, okay, but you ain't see your uncle get messed up, you ain't see your daddy get messed up, you ain't see your homeboys that it was first
the collateral.
Yeah, it was first like 30 of y'all, now it's like 6 of y'all left, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, how do you guys feel like as to what be a good solution or a good way to like kind of help them numbers? Because system to system. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say back in like you play football or something like that, like, hey, you ain't bigger than the program, son. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like this ain't way bigger than you. Facts. You know what I'm saying? But for what we can do, what do you think are some good ways that we can help them numbers or our community, our village that we're pushing them numbers to go down?
Well, back to what Young King was saying, the accountability. And so now the father figures out. So what I love to see organizations like the Black Fathers Unite, where they become mentors to these youth. We have to get that mentality that, like, my kids are good. Because of my experience, I've dedicated my life to they'll never grow up the way that I grew up. But then I can't say, well, because I know mine are good, everyone else is on their own. Like, we have to have that mentality as a community that we're responsible for all the childs in our neighborhood. I remember growing up in Alabama, our neighbors used to spank us.
Yep. Each one teach one.
If I went out the gate when my grandma was at work, that she knew about it before I got home, because there was this mentality back generations back where all of us were accountable to each other. So I think enacting some type of mentorship program, specifically New West Orlando Foundation that's one of the programs that are being initiated, is to put those positive figures in their life, but also help them reestablish contact with the parent they lost. So now that father can school his son, can school his daughter, and say, don't do the same thing I did. Whereas our Department of Corrections is designed to keep that separation. And only now are you seeing in certain states, and it's been really successful, where they're scheduling video visits for kids that can't get to their parents, and making sure that bond isn't completely severed, but that they're reunited. And I think that's really important. It's going to take people to vote those type of bills in to make it mandatory that they have those type of parenting programs there. But you have to teach the men to be fathers. You can only do what you know. When you know better, you do better. Right. And so our generations past that were in the streets and living a certain lifestyle, whether they did it out of necessity or did it just because they made bad choices, what do we learn from that, and how do we do better for the next generation?
Facts. Yeah,
that's real.
But also, like, I felt this is one thing that just came to mind is having a little, I forgot what it's called, like resistance from the youth. So, one thing I feel that we should try to take into consideration is what is it that the youth want? Like, they may not, like, man, we good. We don't want to have nobody telling us, oh, this what I used to do, this what happened. No, like,
they want a different approach.
I feel like we have to get in their heads, like, okay, like, okay, your daddy wasn't here when you was growing up, like, you went to the streets, like, how you feel about that? Like, I feel like we should actually want to get to on a level to understand where they coming from. Like, I personally never had a parent that was incarcerated, but I didn't grow up with a father like that. So I was already susceptible to be one of them that was like, okay, your mom had to work two jobs, overtime, you was in the streets. I always looked at like, damn, I ain't trying to be like the older nigga that you already know he been to jail. You already know
trying to preach.
He probably never finished school. Like, I ain't trying to be like him. But like, they actually was the ones that I thank for keeping me out the streets, because they looked at like, nah, bro, like, this not you.
Yeah.
But nowadays you don't have that communication. Like, you may be like 2-3 years older than the next jit you trying to talk to. Like, it's not that.
Yeah.
That camaraderie. They missing that camaraderie. Like, they don't
it's
feel
some
you.
way I feel like we should try to figure out, like, okay, how can we all come together? Like, bro, like, Jit like 2 years old, younger than you, like, you know, put him on some game, you
Facts.
know,
Yeah.
because you ain't trying to be in the streets,
Yeah.
but you don't have no type of resources, or you don't have a real option. Like, damn, what can I do besides sell whatever, kick those, do, you know? I feel like, you know, that's something that y'all should try to implement. Like, get some of them who wanna, hey, bro, I don't want my little brother to die in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, some of them kids that want, you know, to help their peers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we want to do is not want to do, but one thing we're going to do is like, even getting them kids who already, like, they nothing like that. Like, we're not even talking about kids who been in trouble or been like messed up. We're talking about kids whose parents are just incarcerated. Yeah. To where like I'm focused. Like, I ain't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I might have good grades. I might. You know what I'm saying? But as into, like, showing them to where, like you said, if somebody is like 2 years younger than you or 2 years older than you, you're going to listen to them more than somebody who's 10 years older than you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be like, oh, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's closer. Ain't no, okay, overhead. Like, I hear you. You back in your day, right? Yeah. But also today, it's going to be like different options. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have different programs, different things to where, like, giving kids, you know how back in the day they had like trades and different things like that. But okay, kids, they want to be on YouTube. Show them how to work cameras. You know what I'm saying? Okay, these kids want to do this. Okay,
Kid want to be a programmer.
Exactly.
Buy him a laptop, like Catherine did. You know what I'm saying? Same mission, different approach.
Exactly.
Yep.
Same exact mission since back then. Just like telling the kid, you know, back in my day, and you know what they should do different, but just a different approach, because every kid ain't gonna be as inviting or accepting of that spiel anymore. And I've had that spiel with a couple kids that was like more than 10 years younger than myself, and then they find out the age I am, and they're like, oh man, you 10 years older than me, bro. I thought you was only like 23. I thought you know what I'm saying? So they was listening, and then they found out I was older, and then they're like, okay, I get what you're saying, old school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even not with that attitude. Nobody said that to me yet. You know what I'm saying? But like, I can tell that it's different when you come at them a different way. So I try to let a different outlook be it, like music. For me, it's music, because I know I can't just be like, listen here, whippersnapper, you ain't supposed to be doing that, man. You know, because this only going to lead you this way. I know he ain't going to listen to me saying it like that. Facts. But I know if I jump on the same beat that his favorite rapper, Lil Baby, jumped on, and I put some knowledge in that second verse, if he listens to the first verse and it's hitting enough and he like it, and he make it to that second verse and he hear what I say on that one, then it's kind of like, okay, that's a different approach. And he like, damn, bro, snapping. You can't deny, like, bro, snapping. Then it's like, you heard what bro said though? Okay, that's real though. And then that may hit it. So like you said though, same mission, just different, a different way of approaching it. For sure.
And that's like the main reason for having the youth roundtable on the 13th, is that so we can actually talk to them and ask them what they need. What is it that you need to be successful? What is it that's missing? And what resources do you feel like are lacking? Where that's obstructing you from reaching your full potential.
Facts.
And so it's more of a listening session to hear what they need, versus most people try to think of a blueprint or a game plan based on what they think they need,
give them
and then wonder why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And instead of giving them, really what kids need is just a safe space to say what's on their mind.
Facts.
And how they feel. And
counseling.
And then when you have people that have experienced it, I can't tell you how many times I've spoken at a school, and when they hear that I went to prison at 13, that's not a reality for most people. They think I'm 13, they're going to charge me with juvie, I'm not going to do no real time. Or Ladro's, that's why I said, Ladro, we got to get together, because then you can reach, because the men probably aren't going to listen to me, that's not their experience. But how many times I've talked about my experience, and some young girl came up to me afterwards and said, you know what, I was a victim of sexual abuse too, and I haven't told anybody. And then I'm able now to direct her to the resources she needs, so that she doesn't become a statistic and act that out in ways that are going to be detrimental to her being successful.
Facts.
And so sometimes the best thing we can give these kids is the most vulnerable of ourselves. It doesn't feel good. It takes a lot of sacrifice. I don't want to be on a podcast talking about being in prison at 13. I don't want to be on a platform. But in order to do it, if I know the outcome is going to be that somebody's lives has changed, and all of us have to have that sense of selfishness to put our ugly out there in hopes that it's going to change the community around us.
Yeah.
That's real.
Putting your ugly out there, that's real.
Yeah, that's real. I like that.
We need to make a T-shirt like that.
Put your ugly out there.
Yeah,
that's
put
real.
your ugly out there.
That part. For sure. So that's we got event coming up, the Youth Roundtable on the 13th.
August 13th.
It's gonna be at the downtown library. It's gonna be like the Youth Roundtable. We got kids coming from Polk County. We got kids around the city coming. We asked a kid what you want to do, you know what I'm saying, in life, you know what I'm saying, different kind of vibe. It was like a room full of people, right? And some of the kids, they were shy. One of the kids, he said that he wanted to be a program director, a computer programmer.
He liked coding.
He liked to code, you know what I'm saying? And it jumped out because it was like,
he had his whole game plan.
Yeah, he had a game plan.
From beginning to end. I'm gonna do this at 18, this at 19. I'm gonna start my business. Yeah, he was different.
He was different. And it was like, oh, okay, wow. And they were like, you got a computer? I don't have a computer. Okay. So at the Youth Roundtable, when he comes, we're gonna have a laptop there for him. You know what I'm saying? Kind of vibe. So
change his whole life.
It's going, you know what I'm saying? And then now when this kid becomes the great successful man that he's going to continue to be, and you're like, you know what, like, there is somebody out there that actually cared, that wanted to see me strive and do great things, and you get a laptop and it's gonna be dope. And now even with his peers, now they're gonna look at him like, man, we used to laugh at bro, or okay, kind of cool thing. Now they're looking at, bro, you got a laptop from just adding, okay, cool. So now that might even help the next one to like, hey, you know what? Yeah, y'all joking and playing.
Next time somebody asks me, I'm gonna give them a very thorough answer.
I'm gonna give them a real answer. I'm gonna give them a real answer. Now, hey, you know what? Now, bro can sit next to me now. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna listen to what you doing with this? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's gonna be really dope. That's gonna be one of the I've done a lot of different events in different situations, but the Youth Roundtable and what I'm doing with the whole foundation and team, what we're doing for kids with the nonprofit work, it's really been like hitting more. You know what I'm saying? It's really like more impactful, that I actually really been caring about more, and the focus point. So it's been cool though. It's been cool. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people see different things on social media. Like, oh, Afro Chapman, you know, turn to do this, blah 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 kind of vibe. You know, I do a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be one of the situations that people are going to see more out of me because it's more like actually like I care about. You know what I'm saying? If a club event or different thing like that, I'm just doing it just because something I like to go hang out kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? But this situation and seeing these kids' faces and how we're going to be able to change and stuff like that, that's going to definitely be more of the focus points, and definitely excited. I'm definitely excited linking up and working with Catherine and her story. Her story is amazing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know all about a different thing. They heard little clips and different things right here, but her story is amazing. She wasn't just like no like this crash dummy running around here and boom went to prison at 13. Her story was actually like wow,
meaningful,
you know
purposeful,
really meaningful. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like you hear it, it's gonna feel, it's gonna hit. So with all that being said, things we're gonna be able to do here in the community and the New Western Orlando Foundation is it's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? And Mr. JK, I know you have your college degree, right?
Yes, I got my degree in social work.
Ooh,
yes.
shouts out. Clap to that one though.
Yes.
That's what we ain't doing enough of, clapping for that.
And the crazy thing about my whole degree is that the reason I got it, it was basically because I wanted to impact the youth. Like hearing y'all go and everything, is just like, damn, man, you know, it's a small world because, like I said, like I never dealt with a parent, you know, being incarcerated or whatnot, but simply being a male in the like living. I didn't live in the best areas, you know. Living in apartments in West Orlando, you know how that go. Like you dealing with kids from everywhere, especially when your people's not home. You get influenced by a lot of stuff. So I always had homeboys that I knew like, damn, right, so and so in the street, so and so do now, like damn. So I always wanted to be one of them. Like, okay, I'm gonna make it as far as I can go to show them, like, hey, bro, you don't have to go this route. And so originally I went to school to be a civil engineer. I ain't like it. Too much math, so I'm like, damn. I just had
good money though.
But like one day I had an epiphany. I said, let me just be a social worker. And then out of nowhere, like, my target population want to be the youth, because you see the area that we're living in Orlando. Like it's really the jits, the kids, the adolescents, the young adults. It's them that's driving the movement of the city. Even though it's cops that's like 30, 40 years old making the arrests, is the jits that they're arresting. It's because their actions is leading the temperature of what's going on. And so I'm just like, you try to impact one at a time. Because you ain't going to you have a classroom of 100. You probably going to make an impact on like 20. And you be lucky if 5 of them go as far as you want them to go through their potential. So I always been realistic. I want to do something where like I get at least one child at a time. So social work is what it is. Now I'm just like I'm gonna try to use that degree as much as I can, and see where it goes.
That's awesome.
That's dope,
awesome.
Bro. That's really dope.
That's
and it was like a little fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? I heard that you about to become a teacher.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Congratulations to that too.
Yes.
Congrats, bro.
Yes.
That's what's up.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's dope.
That is the person that influences a child as much as the parent. Like I think, like people. One, if you look at like the pay, like it should be a 6-figure job, like a cardiologist, because that's how vital teachers are to molding children into what they're supposed to be. So I'm so excited for you, and I know you're going to be one of those teachers that
teachers aid.
Yeah, teachers.
It don't matter.
It's going to go into that. It's going to go into that
because I feel like, especially with the teachers, a lot of them like. It's not, like you said, the pay. And I feel like the ones that are there for the pay, they not going to really like, bro, you with this jit more than his peoples are with him.
Facts.
Yeah.
For long, like the parents probably with them summertime, barely that.
When they get home at night before they go to bed.
You can't, I feel like we need to have more teachers. I wish I had some teachers like that that's the reason why I'm the way I am. Like, cause I had them teachers that I ain't getting paid that much to deal with your BS, bro. So come on, man.
We need the teachers that give a damn.
They like you for real. Like they really
the
like
ones that give a
bro.
damn. Yeah.
And,
You know what I mean?
And that was like, cause like, all right, so my sister, right? She's one of the kids to where like she was always super smart. You know what I'm saying? Always smart. You know what I'm saying? I seen her one time cry because she had a B. You know what I'm saying? Like super smart. So she graduated from Rollins. You know what I mean? I always would mess with her. Come like, Lex, like, you so smart. You know what I'm saying? You got all this kind of vibe. Like, you don't want to become no teacher. Like, they ain't paying nothing. I see how hard you working. You graduated from Rollins. She this weekend she just got her master's degree from UF. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, Lexi, blah blah. But once I really see how much she loves teaching and how much she really loves like doing what she do for these kids, I like, okay, let me leave her alone. Like this is her path. Like this is what she really wants to do. It ain't about the money, but this is something she's passionate about. You know what I'm saying? She wakes up early, gets there, boom, do a whole bunch of kind of vibes, come up with a whole different things, and that's one of the things I've seen. Like teachers are so creative. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Teachers are very, very creative. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm seeing that, and I'm like, wow, like okay, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like we need more teachers, and we need to support. Even if the teachers are not getting paid like how they should be, it should be people in the community and people that as in supporting them to the max
to help them. Yeah, to help them want to stay in that position. Because a lot of people start off and then leave it.
Yeah. It should be the parents.
Yeah,
like really should be the parents. Like
that should support the teachers the most.
It's a whole like cycle. Like if you like, I couldn't understand that's your child and you gonna take your child's side at all times. Yo, I'm with your child more than you are.
Yeah,
I know,
like, bro. You should.
I'm identifying.
Don't come on.
Don't
get down on me like, oh man, you talking to him like this. I'm like, come on, bro. You're the hard-headed jit. You're the hard-headed. You showing out on me in front of him. Now he gonna feel like.
Oh that's why there's a lack of authority with a lot of youth today, because parents have that mentality. Like I went to my kids' meet and greet today and literally told the teacher, I work from home. At any time you call me, and I'm on deck to handle mine, because I don't tolerate. You're not going to disrespect authority. You're not going to. Yeah. I'm working with you in collaboration with you to help my son excel.
For the better good.
Yeah, it's not. So if you tell me there's an issue, there's an issue, and we need to address it. And then you also have. I've had an issue with a teacher that
was a bad teacher.
Just assumed my son because he's got a single mom. He's a black youth that automatically thought that she had her stereotypes about him, and then I had to go advocate on behalf of my son. But I'm only going to do that if there's proof that there's not. Like you're giving me a progress report saying he's 2 grades behind, but then I get his diagnostic test results and he's 2 grades ahead. Don't make a paper trail for my son. And you're already trying to say he needs iReady and he can't read and all this other stuff when I know my son. And that's when you have to be a parent and advocate in this system.
Like you said, be a parent.
Yes, be a parent.
And a lot of parents aren't parents. A lot of parents are friends.
Yeah.
A lot of parents are babysitters.
I'm
babysitters.
I'm not your homie. I'm your mama.
I know.
And that's the other side of also too of I said parents being parents, because it goes to the fact also too, like, don't just give your kids to the system wise, because for the fact I know for like type of kid I was never a bad kid. I was just a class clown. You know what I'm saying? I would just...
You like to make fun of
things. Yeah, surprise. Like jokes. You know what I'm saying? It would be jokes. You know what I'm saying? Kind of vibe. Certain things that until like when I was a kid, until like I'm 5, 6 years old, certain things don't make sense to a 5 or 6 year old because you're not even explaining it to. Cause you're just saying like, I'm the adult. This was going on, but it's like, all right. So you mean to tell me, just because I got my name on the board with a check mark, I can't go outside and play, and everybody else is going outside and play, and I got to sit here as the 5-year-old with my head down on this thing? No. Like so now when everybody come back in,
what kind of school you went to?
Bro, you got to think, bro. Legit. I'm talking about kinder. I'm 5, 6 years
old. That makes sense. Like as an adult now, I probably did something to earn that check.
I get it. I might not.
But explain that to me.
Yes,
like, you're saying you misbehave, and you don't get to play.
I remember, bro. They used to turn the lights off. Yeah. Everybody go outside. I gotta put my head down while the teacher grading papers. You sound crazy.
Accountability.
When the kids come back, it is. But like
so when the kids back in, we finna turn up. It's like the let eye.
Hey yo, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Kind of situation.
What happened outside?
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, bet. All right. So now it's like, okay, now you're being disrupted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Kind of situation.
But
so
really,
now,
you're not. You're really just more interested. At that point, you're more interested.
I'm being like a 5-year-old. But now when it comes to it, now what it's saying, okay, this kid, he's a problem. Kick him out of class. He gotta go to the principal's office, right? Now in the principal's office, now you call my mom. My mom now coming down, okay, what do you do? Yeah. He had a name on the board with a check mark, and then now when he was talking, okay, and he's talking, right? But now it comes with the paper trail. You know what I'm saying? So now it's okay, you know what? All right, well, boom. Miss Jones don't want me in the classroom no more. Okay, now I gotta go to Miss Lindsay class. Miss Lindsay and Miss Jones, they're cool. So now when I'm coming there, now my
Miss
desk,
Lindsay already think you're a bad
my desk is right next to the teachers now, right? Yeah. So now everybody else coming look like, oh, that's the bad kid from next door.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm
now you got a reputation.
All I was doing was talking.
Yeah, you was having fun. Yeah.
So then now, that was my issue to where like in general, like my mom, she couldn't keep a job. I didn't go to school full time until about maybe like 4th or 5th grade. Yeah. After Christmas time, before Christmas, I was quiet because I wanted my toys. You know what I'm saying? I was quiet. I'm just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And remember, we go to school in August, so it's not really that long. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm quiet. I'm like, okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But then after there, I got kicked out of all my schools.
But do you see the intelligence behind that though? Like you knew
how
to
smart
do the
you
right
was.
thing before Christmas, and then you turned up afterwards. So it wasn't a lack of knowing. You knew what you needed to do.
At 5 years old.
Now, at 5 and 6 though, that's the problem. I think with the public school system, it's not individualized because that's like I have 2 kids. I have to discipline my kids different. Because if I was to take my son and isolate him and put him in the room, that's like the worst punishment for him. Or if he feels like, and then with my daughter, I can't yell at her. She starts crying. She's super emotional. They can't individualize it when they have 30 kids in a class and say, you know what, this doesn't work for Keith. Making him put his head down and doing a check mark. So let's do something else for him. They don't have the capacity for that because they're already overworked.
They already got 40 other kids. They got 40 other kids to deal with.
And that's where like even with the parenting come in as to where like
because at 5 that's rejection.
What they were saying to me, they wasn't just saying like okay yeah he's a bad kid. No, they started that paper trail to where it was.
You had a lot of referrals, right?
Yeah, referrals through the ad.
I ain't gonna let you sound like me.
You know what I'm saying? So I had all the referrals. So now as until we're not even just the referrals, then now they're sitting there saying
and
like
it says you disruption.
Okay, he has this. They trying to diagnose me with this. Not you know what I'm saying? So now even when my mom will come and she was like, yo, like, okay.
They saying
did they ever put you in that after school counseling type shit?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so you
no. No, they ain't give me no like they're sitting there saying like as until like all right, well boom, he has ADHD, he has this, he has Ritalin. You know what I'm saying? Trying to take like
pills?
At an early age. Yeah. So now at an early age with this paper trail to now where I'm in a school district. So now when I'm in the school district, I'm just going from school to school. But now when you put up your school ID number or whatever type of thing, you're like, oh, this the type of kid we dealing with. Yeah. When really like
I was a badass jit, man.
I ain't starting no fights. I was
a violent one.
I ain't do none of that. I was just talking. But not saying it was bad. I was just talking. You know
was you talking too much though?
Yes, I'm not saying I'm a kid.
You know that's what they're gonna do.
But adding to the stereotype that they're giving me though.
You gotta listen.
Don't no 5-6-year-old know that you're supposed to be cool. No, they don't. You could tell them, but come on, man. You at school. You're around. Listen, this new to you. Your brain is a sponge at that age. From 0 to 7 years old, your brain is a 100.
These kids know, man. These kids know.
She gonna sit down and be quiet.
It's because he didn't want to listen.
But that's what I'm saying.
We didn't want to listen.
We different kids. Like in general.
You was a hard-headed kid.
Like I just said, my sister graduated with her master's degree.
So you gotta blame yourself
from me. You know what I'm saying?
You had both parents, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. You gotta blame yourself on that one. You were just a bad kid.
No, look, that's the thing though. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't a bad kid. I was just talking.
Listen, he didn't respect authority.
No.
You go to school to learn.
No, you're not getting what I'm saying. I'm a kid.
Listen,
so what I'm saying is to where
kids. Nah, that's not it. Kids have accountability.
So kids are talking. You're not breaking pencils.
Kids know if they break something, they gonna get their ass beat. So now they trying to hide it and do it. 5 years old.
Not even 5. All right, let's fast forward. I'm talking about middle school.
That's even worse.
High school. I'm at Olympia, right? Okay, cool, all white school, basically kind of thing, right? They treated me like I was a bad kid. Like, I'm not starting no riots. I ain't bringing no guns to school. I'm not.
What did you do though? What did you do?
He had a paper trail.
I'm joking. I'm making cracks in classes. Like, oh, ha, ha. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, bro. They trying to teach, bro. We don't listen. They already don't get paid enough. They are listen, chat.
I look like I'm just gonna be quiet.
Listen, you gotta look at that from their point of view.
For sure.
Like, they already don't get paid enough.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to like, damn, man. I actually low key like, cause I was a badass kid.
That was different kids. You sound bad. I wasn't bad.
I was bad. Listen, I was bad. Like,
okay. What were you doing that was bad? Cause I was just joking. I was making jokes.
Tell us what signifies you was being bad.
Chairs.
Yeah, see, I ain't doing none of that.
Listen, I really didn't respect authority to the point. Like, if you said, "Yo, get out my class," I said, "What the fuck? Get out your class." All right, I'm gonna make a scene. I'm gonna make you kicking me out for what? Cause I said some shit. I like, all right, fuck that shit. So I finally got to the point where, like, I don't know, I think one of the teachers sat me down, like, real deal, like, bro, we don't get paid enough to deal with y'all shit. Like, he cursed and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, you know, I really didn't give a fuck, because I was wondering, like,
but you understand now.
You my teacher. You feel me? Like you said, it's the age thing.
Yeah. Facts.
So I'm like, all right. So I understand, like, damn, bro, like, they trying to teach some shit. They already don't get paid enough. Not everybody gonna take it. They gotta give you some work this shit to prove that they did their job. Yeah. And if like half of y'all niggas fail,
they ain't even gonna do it.
It goes back on them.
But this
so now they trying to. If you causing the disruption, you like, damn, nigga, you stopping the process.
But it's your job to find out why he's causing.
Look, JK, look,
because you're the teacher.
This is the thing, though, right?
It's your job to figure out.
I'm just gonna kick him out. JK, it's easier to just kick him out.
It's easier, but then it's easier to set his life on a path of him being kicked out of shit.
If this nigga ain't listening, if he ain't listening, listen. If you ain't listening,
JK, what I'm saying is, though, like, this is where it comes with the paper trail, right? So look, right? So cool. So when they doing all the different things with the paper trail, saying, okay, I'm this, that, bad kid kind of thing, right? So boom. At fifth grade, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, right?
Damn,
so boom.
You sleep at that?
Yeah, so I was at fifth grade, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea. But now with the sleep apnea, you're right, to where I'm literally have sleep apnea, they looking at adding to bad kid, blah blah. So now I was getting referrals for going to sleep in class. So now
so you acting like this? You acting like you didn't give a fuck.
I look like I don't give a fuck,
bro. You follow? Listen, I'm teaching a lesson on the board. Like, okay,
yeah, but then he has sleep apnea.
But I really have sleep apnea though. I'm diagnosed with sleep apnea.
Look how that look. Look how that look.
Yeah,
green plus blue makes this color. Y'all get it? The fuck? This. Oh.
So look, so then right now,
it look like you don't care about that teacher.
So now think as like a 14, 15-year-old kid, right?
Gotta kick you out.
So now look, 14, 15, right? So boom, I'm already have all my referrals of class clown, joking, bad kid, blah blah kind of thing, right? So then now look, I'm going to sleep because I'm tired. Sometimes I didn't even know I was even going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? You've been in the car with me. I'm asleep, right? Thanks. I'm not causing nobody no problems. I'm asleep. Look, so now why are you waking me up?
But get out my class. Go sleep.
Now why are you waking me up?
Go sleep in the bathroom.
To now type of thing. Okay, cool. So
that's
now
crazy though, man. Look, that's
clearly
a huge part.
I ain't talking.
That is a huge part. Look, you gotta understand. My bad. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I feel like I forget it.
No, you gonna talk.
But listen, I honestly feel like that plays a huge role in how kids view authority figures, on how you deal with them at that young age. From the age of 0 to 7, your brain is a sponge. Your brain is a sponge every day.
Yeah.
Right now we're processing all type of information that we don't even understand, that we're processing the light, little bro in the background, like if his phone buzz, like we hear everything going on. Right now we're processing information. We sponges. Kids are at their most vulnerable sponge stage from the age of 0 to 7. So if you kick them out of class when they 6, even though you tell your daughter, sit your ass down and you better not move, she gonna be quiet and she gonna sit down with you in a classroom to where her brain is processing the fact that little Susie's Chinese and little Darrell and then little Talisha and little such and such, and it's 32 of them in this one classroom with this teacher and this old dusty projection screen that she don't even understand and she just bored. How can you fault her for keep on talking? How can you fault her for passing a note to the person behind her and trying to indulge in conversation or learn something? Because all she doing is learning. She less than 7, you know what I'm saying? Even if you 13 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? They be done started your paper trail so young. Like he said, by the time you 13, the teacher don't want nothing to do with you anyway.
That age, because I think that's why so many kids are getting diagnosed. Even when they did it to my daughter,
they try to do it to us, man.
She has ADD. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
First of all, you're in VBK. You're expecting her to sit down.
Yeah.
The attention span of an adult, and I've spoken at universities. I public speak all the time. They tell you the attention span is like 20 minutes. Anything over 20 minutes, you're gonna lose them.
Come on.
And if that's true for an adult, imagine if you have a 4 or 5-year-old and you're telling them to sit down for 2 hours and do something.
Because you're not keeping them engaged.
You're cutting their recess time out.
So you gotta find a way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta get in there.
We had recess for an hour plus an hour PE. Now they get 15 minutes to burn. I know when I have my kids on the weekend, that's why I stay at Defy. Them kids can jump for 6 hours straight to where I'm just sitting down watching them at that point because they have this limited
you trying to keep your attention span at that point.
Energy. I need a glass of wine by the time they're done.
Yeah.
So you have a 5 and 6-year, and Florida is like notorious for this. Our curriculum is crazy. Like my homework,
is it hard?
My kindergartner was getting homework, and it was stuff that I didn't prepare him for because I wasn't expecting to do addition.
With kindergarten?
He's doing addition and subtraction in kindergarten.
We weren't doing
trying
that
to
in
make
kindergarten.
geniuses now.
Yeah, we weren't.
You know they smarter. They smarter now.
Yeah,
These kids are smarter now.
They're way smarter than we were.
They finessing out the game
Yeah,
work.
they way more
intelligent. iPads in kindergarten.
That's how you, listen, if you know how to do 1 + 1 and all that in kindergarten, oh yeah, he's one of them. You're gonna start getting college applications in the mail.
Yeah,
Fifth grade.
He's literally already put my passcode in on my phone.
Exactly. Might as well. That's how you get them.
What you're saying is so true though. Like,
I mean, your son's a
that
genius.
is the biggest influence that a kid that young has is a teacher, bruh. And if you kick him out of class, I went to Hungerford. That's we the first black city in America. Eatonville, first black city in America. I'm from Eatonville, Florida. Man, I went to Hungerford, bruh, and the biggest influence I had wasn't like, besides my cousins and them who was on the block, it was my teacher, Miss Collier. Like, this lady used to be like, Lorenzo. She used to be like, Lorenzo, come here. And she knew how to talk to me. Because anybody else will say something to me, I shut down, I get mad, I throw a tantrum. You know what I'm saying? And it's because what I'm coming from at home. I feel like, you know, you got to speak to me a certain way. You can't kick me out the class. Like you said. Yeah. Kick me out the class, I'm finna boot up. And then I'm going to tell my mama that you told me I had to get out the class because of this. And I'm going to make it sound real bad like Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make it sound real bad. Hold up, it's about to go down. We about to turn it up. But what I'm saying, though, is it's different the way this lady used to talk to me. And she the only lady in the whole world. Besides when I went to prison. She didn't talk to me nicely. She gave me the real. But she figured out how to say it to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. Sometimes it was mean. She done yoked me up a couple times. But she I was already soft on her though. I was already soft on her by then.
Because she showed you she cared.
Yeah.
And she's the only teacher since then. And I'm talking about, we talking about like 2000. We talking about 2003 back then. Like, she the only teacher since then to get at me until I went to prison and was in there for all them years. And then they finally let me get off of the 23-hour lockdown that I was on and go to culinary art school because Le Cordon Bleu financed our prison at Lake City. And they gave us like a $2 million program to where we can go in and cook, and we learned all the curriculum and we got our degrees in culinary arts. So this teacher, his name was Mr. Myers. He was the only other person, white guy, random mustache, like funny guy. You would clown him. If he walked in here right now, we'll have the craziest time because we wasn't taking that serious because we'd spend the first couple weeks with him clowning. Yeah. But once he got a chance to get individually with each one of us, it's a whole different outlook on the way that he can control the class of gangsters and kids that's youth that been locked up since they was 13, 14, 15. My big dog Juvie, he had been in there since 2006 when I came, and I was in there till 2011. He told me, he like, man, I've been in here since 2006, bro. These crackers don't teach us nothing. That's all he kept saying is, man, these people don't teach us nothing. And I'm like, so okay.
He wanted to learn. He wanted
to learn. But he was like one of the most notorious gangsters on the entire compound of the prison. And it was 2,000 inmates on that prison. But everybody was scared of him. And this was my brother. Like, we was like this. He say, man, the teacher pulled up on me one day and had a talk with me in front of him. He became friends with the teacher all off the conversation with the teacher all off the conversation that the teacher had with me. He started to listen to bruh and control the rest of the population of the classroom based off what the guy said.
Because he knew bro was actually
Because he know bro trying to teach us. So then Juvie, like, everybody taking him as a joke, like, man, Mr. Myers, what you saying? I'm a real boy. We in the background clowning them. I'm talking about giving them straight hell.
Yeah.
Because these people that gave you $1 million, man, what a food at? You brought some deer today, what we cooking today? Man, what we making? We don't want no chickpeas, bro. We want steak. You know what I'm saying? Like, we end up giving them all the hell we can give them because that's all we know. This is how we respond because the teacher kicked us out. You know what I'm saying? The teacher sent us to the office and gave us the 52nd referral for the year. You know what I'm saying? So this is us 13 years afterwards. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and now this is how we respond to stuff like that. So we giving them hell and let bruh stand up and say one thing. Hey man, y'all chill out. Slap the table a little bit. Everybody straighten up, cause don't nobody want that whooping from Juvie after we leave out the class. Cause Juvie was built like Anderson Silva at a YO camp. You know what I'm saying? In juvenile prison, he was built like Anderson Silva back then. And he would kick you. He would kick you. Man, the man's hands was so big. His hands was bigger than my face. The man would kick you from one side. He kicked me from one. Listen, we was playing sparring when I was like learning how to like grit with the big guys. He kicked me from one side of the basketball court, clean to the other side into the wall. and I thought I was finna hit him. I don't even remember nothing but hitting the wall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to smoke with him, but so if he stood up and said something, what he said was right. And you understood it and you automatically was like, okay. And then an hour after that, you like, oh, I learned something. And that's the power that a real teacher holds. And that's the difference between somebody saying they want to teach or they want to do this or they want to do this and they want to do that. You can't want to do it if you don't want to get into the nitty gritty and find out what's going on. Because you can't kick Lil Bride because he was asleep. I'm sorry. You can't kick him out. That's dead wrong.
As a teacher, the first thing I would say is, why is he not getting enough sleep at home?
They don't let you sleep at home, bro?
And
then you I don't have a bed.
But
that be the answer a lot of times, bro.
But sometimes that's
but the teachers knew why, though. Because I had my, what is the...
Like your medical diagnosis?
Yeah, they already knew about this, though.
Oh, they
were just giving
you, even you clown.
At least they say, hey, bro,
not just for you
corner.
Even you clown.
And the thing is, too, where, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mom was like, don't wake me up, like jerk me type of thing. Like, give me
how you woke up?
Oh, how they'll wake me up? They'll wake me up, like, and I'll wake up, and now I'm mad.
Slamming on the desk.
So now when I'm mad, okay, you want me up? You want me up? Okay, I'm up now.
Now you turn.
Now we turn. I'm up now. What's up?
Now we ain't worried about what you teaching.
I was asleep. Everybody was learning.
Now you flipping books.
Now I'm up. Now I'm not even flipping books. Now,
you ain't doing that?
I'm in jokey mode. Let's joke.
Nah, he ain't joking.
I was never a bad kid. I ain't fighting nobody.
You this shit.
Let's joke now. You know what I'm saying? So it just kept going on.
You said Christopher Columbus.
So you used to crack on the nigga that started laughing when they woke you up. You was one of them kids, like.
So then when I left Olympia and I went to Dr. Phillips and I was like, oh, these kids, I know I ain't a bad kid. I was a DP. I was like really an angel because I'm like, I was just joking in class. These niggas got guns and smoking weed and doing all this other stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying?
DP? Bro, my cousin Haha told me that after he left Edgewater with us, because the coaches saved him from the lifestyle we was living at Edgewater and straight up was like, hey, look, we gonna move you over here.
Edgewater, come on, you figured it, you know.
No, he's saying Edgewater out.
Edgewater was a little wild, I ain't gonna lie. But like, we went to school with kids from Maitland and kids from Winter Park. So like, it was 50-50. You know what I'm saying? When we started the fight, all the like rich white kids got out the way, but they was there. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was just straight. It wasn't like it was straight gun holders and you know the worst situation for you to be at school. It wasn't like that at Edgewater. We made it the worst situation. Edgewater was a great school. They had a great set of teachers.
Y'all ruined it.
We ruined it for ourselves, but because we didn't know how nobody.
I'm loving that accountability, man. I'm loving it.
That's good. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? And shouts out to people like Miss Collier who was like, "Come here, Lorenzo. Come here. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Ain't nothing wrong with me." She like, "Well, why was you back there fighting with them?" I say, "Cause they pulled my hand. They told me I look like a girl." She say, "Well, what you say? What you did?" I say, "I put my pants down and I showed them I wasn't." And she was like, "Well, I'm gonna have." She's like, "What? I'm gonna have to document this because legally I gotta write that down."
Because you showed you,
But I did that a couple times at elementary school because that's what my uncle had told me to do when people because I used to always get in fights just because my hair was real long.
And I was the only Chico.
And I was the only Spanish kid in Enville. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a little different, and people ain't know how to handle that. So you know they did little stuff. that I ain't agree with because we come from the same street. So don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, but luckily she used to call me and talk to me just like that. She used to say, Lorenzo, come here. What happened? And she didn't call me by my real name. She didn't say Lorenzo or Leandro. She said, Lorenzo, come here. She had that ghetto country twang to her. No, she was from Ocoya, Oviedo or something.
Yeah.
She be like, come here. And I come over there and she be like, what you did that for? And I be like, well, cuz I went outside and then the coach told me that I couldn't play with none of them cuz like I can't throw the football the right way or something. And she'll tell me, she'll say, what you like to do? And I say, I don't really like football. She said, why you don't like football? And her and the teacher assistant laughed at me. I say, well, I don't like sports because it make me sweaty. And my brother and them be stank when we get in the car on the way home. And my mama make all us ride in the same row of the seat, in the back seat.
Yeah.
She don't let none of us ride in the front, and she make me sit right beside them. And they thighs be making my shorts stink when I get home.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't like sports.
That part.
And that was my thing. And I hated them.
Bro, that's a legit reason.
That's a legit
You know what I'm
reason,
saying?
bro.
And when I told them this, they was tickled. I tickled they fancy because I'm trying to tell you, these people was like, you could tell somebody like knocked over their box, man. They was in there like really laughing at me.
Yeah.
But they was with me.
Yeah.
It was different.
They
I
understand,
kind of
they
like put
understand.
my head down and smiled like in awe. That was that sheepish grin came out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I done told these people. I done been vulnerable with these people.
Yeah.
But it worked. And the lady, for the rest of the whole year, the rest of my 4th grade year and my 5th grade year, she would let me come in her class. So I would be in there reading with the 5th graders and wasn't a 5th grader yet. But she found out I like to make bookmarks.
Yeah.
And back then we had the crayon boxes
Yeah.
with the top that had the little
Hey, did you have
rectangle.
the one with the crayon
With
sharpener in
sharpener.
that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
so
Y'all had money back then.
no,
Look,
we
brother.
stole them. We stole them. We didn't have it.
Yeah.
We stole that from Walmart.
I need my purse.
Oh.
I'm interrupting
Oh, my bad.
the
No, you good. I thought you was talking to us.
No,
But
You got a crayon box with the sharpener in it?
no.
I thought you was gonna show us something.
Did you
No,
though?
I accidentally dropped
of
I dropped
course.
all my school
And then-
supplies off for the kids.
And
today.
then when you actually like when you was like the cool thing,
You had
if
them-
you ain't
you
have
had
the 8, if you had the 64 crayons
yeah.
with the flip up,
Yeah.
what?
Stop
Oh,
playing.
you know something.
You don't
you
remember?
know
Wait,
You
did you
know-
have Crayola or the
Or the crazy
knockoff?
one.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna lie.
Crayon
bro,
had
I
melt
had-
like wax on the paper.
Bro, hey.
I had to remember that my kids are only in kindergarten and 1st grade because that's what I was doing, thinking about what it was like when I was in school. So I was like, I'm getting in the 64 box with the.
Yeah, for real.
I want my baby stunting in
For real. You want them to have the light skin, the
But
dark
they-
skin, and all of that to color they little
They got
characters.
the colors of kindness
Yeah.
nice now with all the different things. But something you said resonated with me, and what you said about Miss Collier backs it up. Is that like parents can't be friends? Like
With
you
the
have
kids?
to be parents.
Yeah.
Because you said she wasn't soft with you.
She wasn't.
Like you have to give it to them real, and that's the problem. Everybody wants to like pacify and
Yeah.
like pussyfoot around stuff with you. Oh, it's okay, baby. No, you need to.
Well, you know it's not okay.
But
Yeah.
when they're
Damn.
young, you need to teach them
Yeah.
accountability. When you do something wrong, there are consequences behind your actions, and that's why my kid's vocabulary is the way it is.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
you talk to
"Mommy,
them for real."
Sissy did something that was unacceptable."
Yep.
Because it's not, and there's consequences, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
protect you from them because the world's not going to protect you from
And
them.
my mama
They're
didn't
gonna
protect
hold
me
you
from her
accountable.
because it's a bunch of ladies now. I done seen my mama fight somebody about messing with us. You know what I'm saying? I done seen her put her hands on somebody about messing with us. But like you said, it's missing from the generation today.
Yes.
It ain't missing from my mama generation because she believe in that. Whoop him before he get down the street. Then when he get down here and tell me that Miss such and such and them just whooped us at the end of the street, we
Well,
gonna
the
get.
state did that.
Why they whooped us?
The
We got a
state
whooping
did that.
again. Yeah, they took that away.
Now they tell your kids, let us
It's
know.
abuse. It's
Let
abuse.
us know when it happened.
It's
So
abuse,
we
and
can-
we gonna take that person to
What do you
jail.
mean? So, hey, all right. So
Yeah, they shouldn't do that,
whooping-
bro.
So what? Like, you know, I be just talking and stuff.
Not
so
technically.
You
Now,
can't whoop your kids for it though.
It's not. You will have a whole DCF case open with you.
This
Your
the
kids
thing.
Go to school.
The
Tell
way-
them but I'm old school. Like you don't now see our now that generation did it a little wrong because baby when my grandma we got
Yeah,
that
my mom
switch
beat
got
my
hold of
ass.
me.
I got-
yeah, like I had marks
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
left. Like
Well,
let's call it what it is.
blood.
It was abuse.
Yeah,
it was
Yeah,
abuse.
yeah, yeah, okay,
It
okay.
was abuse. It was
Okay.
abuse.
It was abuse.
But
Aight,
chastising your
aight.
kids
It was
with,
abuse.
with there's certain things for me as a parent that are zero tolerance. Disrespect.
Yeah.
Especially to adults, but my as siblings, you don't disrespect your
Nah, I was a
siblings.
disrespectful.
And you
I still got abused
yeah,
though.
and
Yeah.
you keep your hands to yourself.
Yep.
And I may give you one or two I'm gonna talk to you first. Me
Yep.
and you are gonna have a conversation. But if it warrants a
After that,
spanking,
you gonna
I
have
am not beyond
Yeah.
spanking my kids. The problem is they have these things in class where they're like, hey, this is what abuse is.
They be asking them questions and stuff?
Yeah, or they have like those orientations, and it's like,
but you gotta explain to your kid, like, hey, what I'm doing to you is not abuse, though.
No, I'm explaining to my kid that you better not answer none of them questions.
I can honestly say, like, when we, like, in our late 20s, early 30s, right? Yeah. All of us. When we was younger, when we got, you guys,
yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure we all.
Yeah.
So when our parents used to whoop our ass, it's usually out of anger. And there's an overreaction.
Yes.
So like whatever we get in a whooping for, it didn't warrant a whooping, and they not gonna explain it like I'm whooping you because of this. Mm-hmm. You know, you like you said, you explain it to your child.
Yep. If you do this
consequences,
again,
this is what it is.
This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, my mom would tell us.
That's what our parents messed up.
My mom would tell us though. My
parents told me why.
Man, Haitian parents tell you shit.
My mama would tell us.
I know why I was getting whooping.
I know my mom used to whoop me.
You catch me at the wrong time. You ask me why. See, a lot of things issues that we had are things that were wrong, and it came up through generations. Yeah. You didn't question them. Our boys, I remember my dad telling me, Jones, don't cry. Like, I wasn't supposed to cry. I'm the opposite with my kids. Express your emotions, even my son.
How you feel?
Because one day you're going to be a husband, and I don't want your spouse to have to figure out if she hurt your feelings. You walking around the side, you're holding all this stuff inside. So I want him to be able to say, you know what, you said that, it hurt my feelings. That don't make you less of a man.
Facts.
That makes you a real man.
That makes you a real
to be able to say that, or to say, Mommy, this hurt me.
That's true.
Or I didn't like that, and that's why I think this generation has a of the epidemic of divorces. Yeah. Nobody knows how to communicate anymore. Nobody has.
Well, I thought
you know what? I felt like you tried me. I seen such and such in your comments, so now I'm finna go mess around with such and such to get back at you. Why?
Cheating.
Because you can't communicate your emotions and say, you know what?
Because you can't just tell me when I walk in the house
when you did that it hurt my feelings. We can't be that vulnerable.
So you got to learn that.
You have to learn that, and I'm ingraining that in my children now. It's okay to be vulnerable.
I'm terrible with it because my lady even tried to tell, like, I could tell her mom influenced her the right way to, like, do stuff like that. And she'll tell me, like, hey, she'll admit when I, like, hurt her feelings or I did something, or, might have been internet flirting, because I'm a rapper, and sometimes, like, I used to have them situations pop up to where, a little bad little model might be in my DMs, or might, you know what I'm saying, and I'm entertaining, and she might tell me she don't like that. And I look at her like, man, you weak-minded, man. You know what I'm saying? Now I tell her that. I would tell her that. I would tell her, I'd be like, man, you weak.
And you're not understanding that they have feelings.
I'm just understanding that my girl is the way she's supposed to be.
Why can't you tell me how you feel?
But listen, that's different. Like,
because I grew up and they kicked me out the class. Because they kicked me out the class.
Kicked me out the class.
So that's still how I'm responding to this day. So we back on what I was telling you about. You can't kick him out the class because he was asleep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, that's why it start at the beginning. Literally, it start at the beginning.
In that paper trail.
Yeah, in that paper trail, man. You gotta avoid getting them that paper trail at the biggest cost.
But do you think
it's early? Cause do you still remember your school ID number?
Yes, I do. I ain't gonna say it.
That was your school ID number?
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like your DC number.
Yeah.
I was just
my
gonna
number
say.
is 0006.
I do not remember
mine was
my school.
480155397.
Do you remember yours?
ID?
Yeah.
48012.
See, I have not.
I remember this.
My son's just starting first grade. I don't know
You
what
know the reason I had to memorize
I don't know what I would do if they
What's
brought
your
my
DC
son
number?
E186.
I bet you don't remember that number they just repeated though.
My school number? No.
See, I had
But
to
you remember that DC number though, don't you?
I don't think I would ever forget that DC number.
The only reason why I memorized mine, listen, man, Haitians don't got money. So every time you used to lose your ID, that's $5.
Free lunch, for free lunch.
So I'm like, damn, that's another $5 I gotta pay. So I had to memorize my numbers, so I had to pay
what
for
grade did you get ID number? Because my son went to kindergarten, he didn't have one.
Robbinswood, they gave us ID. And,
that's middle school, right?
I don't know how I would feel if my son got an ID number.
And I don't. Ninth grade.
Oh, I ain't like, not be funny. He's going
to
in middle school.
They gave us those at
when you get your ID,
and it's the same one from
ID number. This is to go to the library. This is go to the
justice advocate in me doesn't want my son identified by a number.
That's what he's going to be.
That was for you to make.
I didn't think about it like that.
In slavery, they changed our names. They gave us different names because it was a way to strip your identity, just like when you go to prison, which is what something about with juvenile justice.
That's how they do it.
Like when you
born. It's the military also.
You go on probation. You get a number.
You
get, so now it's a way to diminish your individuality
or demean their character.
And demean your character. Because for the longest, you know, when you get locked up, they don't address you as Catherine. They don't call you as inmate.
Inmate
Come here, inmate. Come here. And
Yep.
after a while, and I'm going to say this, I went at 13 until I was 26, and I came in contact with my mentors, which is why I'm such a huge advocate of mentorship. They changed my life. Because for the first 13 years of my sentence, all I knew was what they told me I was. You're an inmate, you're a felon, you're a murderer, you're a convict. And I allowed those labels. I wore them. Why? Because I was 13 and I was impressionable. I didn't even know what my identity was, so I wore what. So
of course I'm an inmate. If you tell me that's what I am.
And so then I acted like I thought inmates were supposed to act, and racked up 56 DRs. And then I met my mentors. A pastor and his wife came in, taught a class, Fresh Start Ministries, and I didn't know anything different from what I was living, but I knew that I was more than what I had become.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Fresh Start, I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of being in solitary confinement. There's got to be more to this shit than this.
I got to be able to live a better prison life.
And the lifers used to try to school me. I ain't want to hear it. They was old, and you
they
don't relate.
Know how to approach you.
You didn't relate to me.
Yeah.
So I met them, and we were in class, and we had this packet we had to do, and they asked me one question. They said, "Who are you?" And once I got past the superficial stuff, and it was like, I'm smart, I'm cute, I'm athletic, I'm this. It became, I'm hurt, I'm broken, I'm angry, I'm remorseful. And so then they said, well, get your Bible, and I want you to find every scripture when God was telling you who you were. And then I learned I was accepted, I was loved, I was chosen, I was appointed, I was destined for greatness. And then I adopted that as my truth. And my life was never the same.
It wasn't materialistic no more.
You're a teacher. People follow you, but they're following you in a negative sense. You can ask anybody that sees this video in the comments, and they say, kid, they knew me from the chain gang. Everybody knew who I was. I grew up in the system.
Yeah.
And it was like the trajectory of my life was different. It was outside of me. It was beyond me. And they said, you're a teacher. You're a leader. You're a mentor. And then I began to walk in that, and there was no turning back for me.
Yeah.
And then when I came home, I went through another identity crisis. I knew who I was as a woman incarcerated. I didn't know who I was as a woman
as a free person.
I had never dated. This society and this culture is different, because that's one of the questions everybody asks. What was it like in prison? I said, it's a whole different world in there. When you're stripped of everything, we're all wearing the same uniform.
Yep. They be having
the
phones
same.
now.
Not
it's not real.
And the women's
they
prison,
have it, but Instagram ain't popping like it is out here though.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
And in the women's prison, you didn't see that. You see a lot different stuff than the men's prison. The women's, you didn't see nobody with no cell phones in the prison.
Yeah.
So we had
it's harder for them to get it in there.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot harder, because the women tend to be more willing to risk their job for a nigga.
Yeah,
for
not for another little female.
Yeah, but they had we focused on our character. Like, I pride myself in that I have 5,000 Facebook friends, and over half of them I knew from prison. You'll never see somebody get on my page and be like, she was grimy, she was backstabbing. It's always, we knew you were destined for this.
Yeah, we knew you was going to be good.
We focused on character, because when you're stripped of everything, you ain't got no cars, everybody only get $100 a week, so there's no haves and haves not.
And you ain't got no
the only thing you have is your character. And then I came out here and met people out here, and I was like, they think the people in prison are animals. Y'all a different breed out here.
Facts.
Y'all with people for ulterior motives. You don't like to see nobody else succeed. You competing. That mentality didn't survive in prison.
Wait a minute.
So you get out
got
here.
called out off rip.
Yeah, I was like, damn, these people can wear 20 different masks out here.
They
like,
at
my first job, I worked my ass off. I've been to prison working for free like a slave. I get out, get my little minimum wage job. I'm coming to work 15 minutes early. I'm staying for extra shifts. So automatically, every job I went up for management within 60 days. Get the job. Now somebody that's been there 3 or 4 years that wanted to be a manager, now they going to my supervisor. Mind you, in my face, they my friend. They talking to me, shit. And then my manager pulled me to the side and be like, she came and told me about your charges.
Damn.
And she felt like you were aggressive, and you were,
like she's scared
y'all
to
got
be
it
around
too. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, who does that kind of shit? We didn't do that kind of shit.
This generation does.
We didn't do that type of shit.
So I got a question. So, you know how they said the justice system, you're supposed to be rehabilitated. So do you feel like with the women's sector, is the rehabilitation happening with them and just not the males?
But it's happening from
the
the peers.
Oh, so y'all
The,
doing
like
it
the
the prison's not
the
helping
system
y'all.
doesn't work.
Okay.
The system doesn't work. It was the
was her
lifers.
mentors.
It was my mentors.
Yeah.
There was some girl. Listen, the best people I ever met in prison, my best friends or friends that I met in prison, the realest people I'll ever met, I met in prison. And so they it wasn't that the system worked. The system was designed to do what it does, is to destroy you, to destroy your identity. It's a warehouse. It's what you make it. And you see a lot of dudes, like our ICANN network, them dudes come home with law degrees. They come home successful. All of them come home starting nonprofits. They starting businesses. Look at my brother. Came home, he learned a trade. So
My
they got
brother
this
did the
hustle
same
mentality
thing.
because they're used to having nothing.
Yep.
So to me, when I see how people are out here, where they're driven by material things and shit that don't matter, when they're posting pictures with all these filters to impress people that really don't give a fuck about them, that shit's just crazy to me. Like it doesn't make sense, because we didn't have that in there, and it made life more simple. Like if I'm making $100,000 a year or $20,000 a year, I'm just as happy, because my happiness isn't defined, because I've been in the dungeon and I've been in the gutter.
Well, you ain't had nothing.
And I was still happy. I was free before I walked out those gates. I had liberated myself while I was in there, because it's a mindset. So yeah, people out here are just weird. They're weird to me.
And that's crazy though. That's what they missing though. That's what they missing for people to say stuff like that. Because like bruh said, that's why you talking about this right now. Because that's how the kids need to hear it though. Like in prison, it don't work for you. It's your peers. And out here in the streets, your peers, bruh, it's all built off like false morals.
Yeah.
And like some pretentious like notions that's like from forever ago, but on Instagram. Like you literally living to try to do what Lil Baby did in his last video.
Yeah.
Or you want to be like Cardi. If you're a girl, you know what I'm saying? If you
Ladro, hold on. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. If y'all invited any other female to come on this podcast and they knew it was gonna be on YouTube, you think they would have came in here with no makeup on?
No. Wait, say it again.
If you had
That's
any female that had never been incarcerated,
didn't know nothing about what we were talking about,
and you invited them to this podcast, they come in this bitch with weave, they just paid $300 for.
Oh, we're not telling them what's the
we ain't
topics
telling them,
gonna be. We just say come on the show.
When you said come on the show,
they gonna come like it's a
here because it's not about the message to them.
Yeah.
It's about the perception of how people look at them.
Come on, man.
I did 17 years in the chain gang. I survived the worst. So you think I give a damn what anybody that's watching this podcast think about me? But I need you to hear what I'm saying and know that it's real.
Because you listen.
That's what I told you when I first walked in earlier, and you was like, but they know J. Cole got a bag.
Yeah.
When we was talking about like me being like self-conscious of what I'm wearing these days, because I know that it's like a couple thousand people watching me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, should I put on Gucci? Should I go buy this real quick? Nah, I can't really go buy that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make myself seem like I can afford that, and I don't want to afford that because I don't need that to get where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that now, and how you look at me because of it. Because it ain't about what I got on. It's about what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So if you ain't coming to download my song because of what I'm going to say versus what I look like on the album cover, I'm straight on that. Like, that ain't the fan I need. That ain't the friend I need. That ain't the peer I need. And we need more people to say that in this generation. Because this Gen Z right now. We need more people to say that this the skin I'm in. I'm straight on that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, I'm straight on that. You know what I'm saying? It's me. Nah, I'm good. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, for real, that's you? Oh, okay, bro. Dang, I like, bro. You know, that's him. Yeah. That's why I like, bro. Because that's him. Because then it become, if you get into the group of the masses at that point, then it become less of, man, that nigga lame here. You know, it become less of that and more of, man, I like little bro. J always get a real lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like little bro. He ain't scared to be him. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of people that's like leading the opposite demographic. That all you gotta do is change one of their mind, like my partner Juvie from class up the road. You know what I'm saying? Just like my partner, he changed what everybody in the class said because they were scared to get beat up by him. But he changed the way they thought of him saying one thing when the teacher been trying to teach for 2-3 weeks now and can't get a message through to you. But all he got to do is say it is one time. But why he believe in the teacher so much? Because he heard what the teacher said to me, one of his favorite young people in the class. And he loved the way I step, and that I just be me. I don't be trying to fake gangster. I ain't telling 30 people I want to fight them when I come out of here. I ain't acting super tough on the rec yard. Man, I'm on the rec yard with the cleanest, fresh pressed uniform you can find.
Slept on it?
Huh? I'm trying to tell
you ironed
you.
it.
Nah, I slept on it, and I was the head of classification orderly, like for
so
my
you
last
had
2 years.
you was
Yeah.
good.
So like, you know, I was the plug on the uniforms and all that stuff, and I got my Zoe brothers, you know what I'm saying, jobs, and my brothers who from Orlando, I got all them boys jobs to where they could do stuff for the community in prison too. So it's like kind of like they give me a job as the head of classification. Oh, hey fam, come here. Hey, you gonna work in laundry. Hey, come here. You gonna be in the hallways. Hey, come here. You gonna work in the nurse office. Yes, a new nurse working there. She bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we was empowering each other, and I wasn't scared to do that. And people ain't know me. Like if you ask people if they knew Montana from prison, cause they call me Montana, cause I'm Cuban. But they'll be like, man, you knew Montana? Nobody don't know me for being the hardest bumper out of the X-Men's, cause that's the gang I was affiliated. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had became the head of my set, like after my brothers had went home and stuff. And they was like, man, hey, bro,
You do kind of look like a Puerto Rican Wolverine.
I finally got some facial hair. It took for me to get free, though. I had to get free, and you know how you get facial hair. You know, look. But for real, though, man, it took for me to just be myself. And for even my brothers, a lot of my brothers who was like the same gang I was, to see that, man, he ain't the toughest one on our squad, but he the toughest one on our squad. So we can't nobody touch him, can't nobody bother him, bet nobody say nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? It became like unanimous that everybody knew that, and it wasn't cause I was gonna cut you or kill you. Even though I would crash out, I was a crash dummy for a good while, just like you said. I had a great amount of DRs. I went to the box a whole bunch of times. I did 60 days, umpteen times, been put under investigation for cutting people, doing stuff like I did. I did stuff like every other inmate did. But by the end of it, it was more of a character judgment thing for me just saying, hey, this me. Yeah. You knew me for doing music in prison. Anybody, man, I done been up there with all the real deal chain gang jits who our age that we can run out here in the streets. If you run into them, I don't care what side of the city you in. If they was at Indian River, Lake City, Brevard, Lancaster, and ended up at the reception center around me, everybody knew me for doing music. They ain't know me for being a crazy gangbanger. They knew I was an X-Man though. So if we get into it with the other gang, yeah, of course, like it's gonna be some trouble had. But at the end of the day, they knew me for being me, and everybody was okay with that. Nobody questioned it. Nobody like tried to pick on me because of it. I didn't have one item stole from me the entire time I was incarcerated, ever. And I never had to fight about nobody trying to take nothing from me. And I'm still the same little Chico who used to have to fight the kids in Hungerford because they would pull my hair. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't happened in prison. Nobody tried to pull my hair. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's because I wasn't afraid to tell them, hey, this me. So even the most gangster guys, you know, the top of the food chain, I was right up there with them. I ate lunch with them every day. I sat at the table with them, and I ain't have to get them nothing for free. Just cause they got their check. Sometimes, a lot of times, my mom ain't had the money to send me money, man. A lot of the times, and then my brother Rick, you know, he'll send me some. You know what I'm saying? And my other brother, he had 25 to life. He for the home invasion as well in Volusia County, so he already jammed. So we the two babies, and it's only my brother out there and my mama. So my brother would try to send us some, but sometimes he couldn't. And sometimes I tell him, hey, my brother Dro, he at Swanee or he at Madison or some crazy camp to where it's going down at. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, hey, send it to him. Y'all got 50 this week, 75 this week. Send him the whole 75. And me, I go hit the poker table. I go holler at one of my Zoes or one of my X-Man brothers and be like, hey, bro, look, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop. Hey, what you need, Montana? Hey, bro. Hey, man, shoot, bro, $20 worth of whoop real quick. Yeah, give him 50 soups real quick. Yeah, it was like that. And it wasn't a person I couldn't ask for it. You know what I'm saying? And I would make sure I paid him back. You know what I'm saying? But I was always face gate because I was just me. And I ain't never have to really worry about too many situations. I ain't catch myself in those situations because I was acting like this. These days, they'll kill you or rob you and try to deprive you of your stuff or your possessions because you pulled up in the Benz you pulled up in. Or because, you know what I'm saying? Like, you pulled up, they know you make money like you make money. Or they know you got a good job like you got a good job. It's persons that don't have as much as you that'll just try to do it because they've been watching your Instagram feed. Because they've been seeing you slide down and you look like more than you may be worth. You know what I'm saying? And you could lose your life because of that. And it's crazy because in prison, you wouldn't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, they didn't exist. Yeah. You had to be you. The true test of character is when
you're stripped of everything.
The war being fought with sticks. Yeah. Ain't no guns.
Yeah. So y'all feel like it, like with everything that's going on in the civilian sector, is worse because you said he could get killed.
It's terrible.
Pulling up, how you pull up, or whatever. So what is that? Is it a lack of order, or is it just the fact that
it's a lack of guidance
out here?
Yeah, and the guidance these days ain't coming from it. So your peers, how she said, okay, it's coming from your peers, right? Now your peers is all on Instagram. You don't hang with 150 people every week. You don't hang with them physically. Yeah, 150 people. But you got 150 friends.
Yeah.
That you don't know, that watch everything you do every time you post it. They watch it every time you post it. They see it. Oh man, look at JK. Look at YK on here, man. Look Young King on here going.
Who they are?
They watching it, and you don't even know 49 of them. You only know 49 of them. My bad. Sorry. You only know 49 of them. 101 of them you don't even know. But it's 150 views on your story.
Yeah.
Every day though. You get what I'm saying? So let you run in the number 139 while you at the 7-Eleven. And you jump out looking nice with your Apple Watch on, you with your Yeezys, and you pull up and you know what I'm saying, and you at the Wawa whoop-de-whoop. You very well may be the subject of an attempted robbery or something worse. You know what I'm saying?
He been watching you.
Because bro been watching you and he know you got it.
Bro. That's how you portraying like that.
And it's terrible, bro. Because I don't want to be in a world where my peers is looking at me through a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't even the homie. You ain't even, that ain't even cuz right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? This just a random guy, bruh, been watching me, and I'm thinking he a fan. Cause I swear I make good music. Or you swear you being the best advocate you could be for what you doing. But all somebody else may see is, it's some people with some crazy heads because they got kicked out of class. You know what I'm saying? There's some people with some crazy heads, you know what I'm saying, out here for real, man, because stuff ain't go right for them when they was little. And then they never went to prison for 17 years and got to meet mentors. So they 30 like you 30, but looking at you, they dirty 30. They dirty 30. They dirty 30. And they watching you.
I'm going to take it a little bit deeper and just say lack of godliness. And I'll just speak for that
for
personally
real.
because that holds me to a different standard of accountability.
Lack
of godliness. They've taken it out of schools. They've taken out, my kids say yes ma'am, no ma'am. They have respect for their elders. All that stuff's Bible.
Yeah.
That you don't covet what the next man has.
Facts. Yeah.
That's so if you take godliness out of it, that's why we have the problems that we have right now. Because there's nobody governing anybody. We're taught that we're our own gods. We make our own rules. And no, there's somebody that you're accountable to.
Yeah.
You can call your higher power whatever. I'm gonna call it God. Yeah. But then you have that, and then when that cycle it's like a cycle that goes around and around. You see. For example, you may have only seen one or two celebrities that had the false eyelashes. Now everybody has them because you have to have the false eyelashes.
The false eyelashes, the little things. That's the little.
That's why they're trendsetters, and so we've placed so much emphasis on these things.
Yeah.
That if you don't have it, now you're
feel nobody.
Inadequate.
Yeah.
And so now you're hating on the person that does have it because it's to you. It's now a necessity. People know media. Social media, the new, it's a whole cycle that works together to make us believe something. Like right now, you would look at the news and believe that there was that you can't walk down the street. There's some young black youth that is gonna rob you
for sure
and kill you
for sure
because that's the narrative that's being painted right now. Yeah. And they're pushing that because it's getting ready to be, it's in the legislature, bills are getting ready to get passed.
Yeah.
Tough on crime.
I mean, this every year. Every couple years.
That's what happened in the 90s.
Yeah.
You didn't have kids spending life in prison. But then, they're just like they did with mass incarceration, the crack epidemic, and the war on drugs. Then it was like the super predator theory. There's these godless, fatherless kids that are going to run into your home and kill your
because their dad's in jail because their dad made a bad decision.
The philosopher, the psychologist that created that lie and put it in the media, and the media pushed it. Now you have all these laws, the minimum mandatory, the 10-20 life in Florida, all these laws getting passed to lock our black and brown kids up for the rest of their lives. It was a lie. Yeah. And nobody's rectifying it.
Yeah. Nobody can rectify it because it's Reaganomics. And it's before him. Like after the Jim Crow, it was him. You know what I'm saying? It's Reaganomics, man.
We just have to have the knowledge and the wisdom to vote the right people in the office.
You're right. Correction. Yep. You're right. For real, man.
it's gonna be one of them, of course, the topic, we can go on for hours and hours and hours kind of vibe.
Unless my boy go to sleep, we can't kick him out.
But look, the crazy thing is though, like when it's saying like topics and stuff like that, like I cared about kind of thing.
See, if they talked about this in kindergarten, you would never went to sleep.
Like no, even in general, I would never, like ever. You know what I'm saying? We would talk about frogs and rocks and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or then like you said, the projector screens. Okay, we gotta take notes. We gotta take notes on the thing, right?
Yeah.
Turning the lights off.
Yeah.
We gotta take notes. Boom.
Of course, I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
Of course.
Somebody take notes on this endless white paper.
I don't have no notes. But now when I wake up,
for real.
So now I'm copying your notes. Now me and him talking.
And then now you get kicked out. Yeah.
Networking.
Facts.
And that's what they missing though. Like it's the guidance and it's the godliness. And they took the godliness away because of lack of, they took the godliness away because of differences. Just because people not being able to settle their differences over belief in religion. Like little bro wear a scarf wrapped around his head and he Muslim or he do this and he do that and she speak Mandarin and she believe in Buddha and he Hindu and he believe in this. Man, we all talking to the same person. It don't matter, just different languages. Little bruh just read from a different book because he's from a different side of the earth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He don't know how to call Jesus Jesus because he wasn't over here in America where they gave us a Bible and told us the name was Jesus. He was over there in a sand field where grass don't grow at and lions run around by the pyramid, and they told him that this is God. So that's his way of beliefs. That's his belief system. Sure. And in America, it's all Christianity. And they took it away from it. So they took it out of the whole school system because they like it. Yeah. They weaponized. They weaponized it. They weaponized it
to justify the jacked up shit.
Yeah.
That they be doing
and so now you got 32 kids in the class, and 8 of them are 8 different ethnicities. Lil' brother them Haitian them, and his daddy them believe in a whole different religion. Lil' bro Cuban, his daddy is a Babalawo from the Santeria like religion, and little homegirl she white, she from Tennessee, and she was raised on the Bible Belt. You know what I'm saying? So now they tell you can't say nothing about God in the class because it might offend one of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which is the worst thing they could have ever did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst thing they could have ever did because that is weaponizing something. You know what I'm saying? That right there is using it as a weapon because now you're taking it away from everybody, and now ain't no belief system to be held. It's whatever little dog and them talking about in class, and that's what was shown on Instagram this morning. So less godliness. Yeah, because everybody got their phones now. It's 30 kids.
What they saying, whatever's on Instagram.
This is the belief system. There's no belief system to be had anymore. Shade Room is the belief system. Hip Hop Now TV is the belief system. World Star Hip Hop is the belief system. Like, make it to that. Make it to look like this. Make it to look like Cardi. Make it to look like Lil Baby. Make it to look like Da Baby. Ooh, I want to look like Jay-Z. Ooh, I want to look like J. Cole. Ooh, I want to look like Drake. I want the ladies like Drake. You know, I gotta have the ladies like Drake. You know what I'm saying? This what you focused on your cell phone in class versus back in the day. At least your parents could tell you something, and when you went to school, other kids would be agreeing about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you could talk about stuff. But now you can't talk about nothing, so you just put your head back in your phone onto the Instagram feed, and what is feeding you? Bullshit.
And then you get kicked out of class.
You know what I'm saying?
And the cycle continues.
Yeah, and it goes on and on and on.
But yeah, no, we're gonna wrap up conversation. I definitely appreciate you guys. This is super dope. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a dope situation. How we're gonna all be able to impact the youth and do our part. Make sure you guys look out for the Youth Roundtable August 13th and more things that the New West Orlando Foundation has going on. This is another episode of High Standards. It's your boy Afro Chapman,
JK the interviewer,
and we out.
Oh look,